Nobel Prize. Surprisingly, the kind of reputation it is getting now is very, very interesting. And still, I don't know why people consider Nobel the Nobel Prize. We have had that Greta as a Nobel Prize winner, a tool in the hands of the deep state. And then we had Malala, who suffered because of terrorism, got a Nobel Prize, and today she is a spokesperson of the Islamist terrorists. And then we had this Yunus of Bangladesh. What a Nobel Prize. A brute he turned out to be, Islamist brute, with Hindus being killed in Bangladesh, minorities, others, Christians, etc., Buddhists, all being attacked in Bangladesh, butchered, their houses burned, temples destroyed. That is another Nobel Prize winner. And then another Nobel Prize winner, Amartya Sen. This Yunus is a very dear friend of his. He has high hopes from Yunus. So this Nobel Prize winners company now is doing a wonderful job in the world. And now the most recent thing has come from another Nobel Prize. This Maria Carolina, Venezuela one. She got the Nobel Prize for Peace. And the person who was demanding Nobel Prize for himself, the psychopath from America, whom Pakistan had nominated for Nobel Prize. Imagine that the rogue state which manufactures terrorists, trains them, finances them, and exports them world over, recommending a peace prize for Trump, Nobel Peace Prize. So Trump didn't get it. So now what to do? So this Maria Carolina declared that she will give her Nobel Prize to Trump. And the Nobel Prize committee came out on Twitter stating that a medal can change hands, a medal can change owner, but the title of Nobel Prize laureate cannot. Now what does this mean? This means that the Nobel Prize medal is on sale now. It can be bought, it can be auctioned, it can be gifted, or someone can pressurize you to snatch it from you. So, Trump has the Nobel Prize now. Very happy. I got it. I got the Nobel Prize. I got the Nobel Medal. But this owner of the Nobel Medal for Peace has now many other titles also in the world. Like, he's a chief sea pirate. Like the old-time sea pirates or the ones who are near now, that Somalia and North Africa coast, still looting the ships. And Trump proved it. That, like sea pirate, he looted the oil tankers which were going to Russia. So oil thief also is another title. He's an oil thief. Through a dacoity in Venezuela, he's taken control of their oil fields. The Chinese are crying because they had invested heavily in those oil fields. But now they are under the control of this great oil thief of the world, warmonger. He shouts peace, peace. Makes top claims. He has got the ceasefire done there. He has got the ceasefire done there. He has stopped the war there. But he himself has proved to be the biggest warmonger. Abductor. What a mockery of international law. Abducting the head of a state from his bedroom. So he's an abductor also. Then another title going for him around the world is that of a blackmailer. Well, it has been an old policy of America to blackmail nations who don't submit to their pressure or their group. But this man has openly come out as a blackmailer. You do this, I want this, I do this. Look at his Deva speech also. So he's a blackmailer. Then he's a Shylock of the modern times. I hope many of you must have read Merchant of Venice of Shakespeare, where this moneylender Shylock will cut the flesh for money. So for dollars, Trump can do anything. He's the biggest arms seller. When his arms economy flourishes. And this arms seller is now very worried about also arms sales. Because whatever little quantity it might be, but if Philippines, Cyprus, Greece, and some other nations are buying missiles, BrahMos missiles from India, it is the American market which gets affected. He considers himself as a super god. He can do no wrong. And not only the god, monarch of this world, but of the entire universe. He boasts that. I am the strongest. Expansionist. Venezuela now demanding Greenland, or even moving his ships there in Greenland. Canada, and his eyes on Colombia, Mexico, Cuba, and he won't step just at that. He'll move into all Caribbean countries or even all Latin American countries. The biggest expansionism of the modern world today. And he's justifying it. He says, so what America is asking it. Many other nations have done it. So I'm also doing it. What's wrong in it? So like a psychopath or a narcissist. And you see, that is why he's not only a talk of the world, but he's been condemned world over. His mental state, his mind is infected with a sick mentality. Because he is an aggressor, full of lust, a liar, a cheat, a blackmailer. who's using all tools, threats of war, aggression, abduction, piracy, and this famous thing, tariffs. Like 300 tariff on this country, 100% tariff on this country, 50% tariff on this country. If it is not tariffs or economics and all, it's a big joke. That's why in a psychological analysis or in psychological terms, what he is doing is hyperbolic discounting. He's a hyperbolic discounter who's worried about the present gains, but what its impact will be on the long run on him, on his own country, or others. He's not bothered. And that is where he has gone also into another psychological term, retail therapy. The retail therapy is that when you want to make yourself happy, you go and buy. But he has found, or he has conceived, a very dirty tactic of retail therapy. He wants to make himself happy, so he will buy Greenland. He has his eyes on Balochistan's minerals. On Ukraine he specified, oh yes, we give you arms, you give us your minerals. Your mines will be ours. We'll look after them. So that is his retail therapy. Either by blackmailing or by scaring nations, he wants to do that. We have seen him doing this in Venezuela, and we have seen doing this in other places. Another thing which he has been doing is that he's a narcissist, in love with himself, suffering from delusion of grandeur, has have a shield, an aura around him that he can do no wrong. He's the right. He's always right. So he has that God complex in psychological terms. He is not himself God, but he is above God. So the heads of states of every nation should ring him, call him sir, beg him, bow down before him, listen to him, hand him over their own national interests. And those who won't do, they will be either eliminated, removed, abducted, well, which again is a continuation of the old American policy since the end of the Second World War, that the regimes which don't toe your line, whatever may be the political nature of the regime, a dictatorship, a military government, or a democracy, or a monarchy, but they have to toe their line. And if they don't toe their line, governments have to be changed there. Well, America has such specialists who are known for creating internal trouble in different countries to overthrow the regimes. So Trump has continued with that policy. A big liar. He's talking of drugs. Accusing. No, you see, no doubt I agree that drugs are a big threat for the world. But in the name of drugs, what he's doing, Was that president of Venezuela himself distributing drugs in America? Has he broken the networks of drug sales or their godowns in America? How many of the drug mafia he has arrested in America? Yesterday in that press conference, he was showing some photographs, and I was laughing, that like a fool, he had some 10 photographs in his hands, and one by one, and he was repeating the same photograph 5 times. But what has he done? So he's a liar. And secondly, he's a very cunning, shrewd person with no respect or not learning anything from historical experiences. Terrorism is like a toy for them because he's supporting the great terrorist state of Pakistan. Like a shameless president of America. Most shameless. For which president of a country will support that country which has sheltered its most wanted terrorist, Osama bin Laden, for years? And that country itself had to do a military operation to kill that terrorist. But that is forgotten now. He is petting Asim Munir. Oh, forget Osama bin Laden. Take care of Hamas. What an agreement. The Hamas is now coming in Pak-occupied Kashmir to move as terrorists towards India. With that, Trump approves because he's able to get rid from them in Gaza. And imagine asking the military of this country, rogue country, terrorist country, to be posted in Gaza. Mr. Trump, you have not known the history of even the UN peacekeeping forces. Where the Pakistanis went and what they did in Africa, the first thing they will do is build a mosque and start converting locals over there. Of course, in Gaza they might have done some other job if they go there. So, this is a kind of a psychological analysis which is essential for this man to be done. Because if you have to save the world from him, from his aggression, from his madness, then you have to understand this man psychologically. And see how things go. I'm shocked at this thing, that every day he imposes tariffs on India, threatens India on tariffs, talks nonsense and all. And yet at the same time will say, Modi is my dear friend, but he's angry with me because of the tariff policy. And why should he be angry with you? Not only angry, the Indian Prime Minister Modi has retaliated your tariff policy and has seen to it that your tariff policy fails. Certain of the actions he is doing are a boon for India, whether increasing that H-1B visa fee structures or imposing these tariffs. It is your people, it is his people in America who are going to suffer it. And see the price rise that is taking place in America. Among all other things, in understanding his psyche and his psycho behavior, we have to remember two interesting things here. One, that he knows he won't be the president of United States again. So that's his last chance. And secondly, the age is also against him. So whatever his ambitions are, like Alexander wanted to conquer the whole world, or what Hitler wanted, how different are the psyche of these people? How different is the psyche of Trump from that of either Alexander or Hitler or many other invaders in this world? The dollar psyche, which is American. It has this psyche originated from the very genesis of America, what you call as an American War of Independence and all. Because many of the looters, criminals, adventurers, with backup of their governments, had taken over this continent. Butchered the local population, snatched their resources, used to send back money home. And one fine day they decide, over a tea party, why should we send this money home? Why don't we have our own government? So that is American independence. And those governments, naturally, they can't lose their share. So there's a war. And that is the American War of Independence. So dollar is everything, nothing else. And don't forget another aspect. It was America which not only invented but exploded the atom bombs on Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And compare that expansionism of the brutal use of atom bomb with the threats he is issuing now and the policies Trump is pursuing now. But we'll have a more better analysis of this man whom some people consider him as a political joker. But no, he's no joker. He's a man, in spite of holding all the powers of the United States president, he's not only misusing them, but applying them in a way that his own personal lust of power is satisfied. But again, psychologically speaking, once these people that get this psyche of lust, their lust can never be satisfied. Always they will want is more, 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 more. So today Greenland, Canada, tomorrow Cuba, Jamaica, Mexico, Colombia, or many others. He has to put his feet on the Diego Garcia issue also. And they call themselves democracy. This is their democracy. So Mr. Trump, one thing is now emerging very clearly. As I said in the beginning, that he's been ridiculed, he's been laughed at, he's been given names, as I also did. But in terms of the geopolitics, the emerging geopolitics, the way Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has not only ignored him, sidetracked him, but retaliated to his madness of tariffs or many other things. It was the first time that from the American soil itself, Dr. Jaishankar, the foreign minister of India, had bashed them up on the question of Russian oil. And all Trump's fake propaganda, and that too in India, carried out by many of their deep state agents, is not going to work. Rather, on the contrary, all such nations who feel threatened, who are scared by Trump, America, they are now looking towards Narendra Modi, the Indian president, the Prime Minister, for leadership, for he has given a strong reply to Trump, which Trump could have never imagined. Many nations in the world could not have imagined. And now, it is not just NATO breaking in Europe. It's like affecting Trump everywhere. It's like non-American treaty organization now, NATO, non-American treaty organization, not North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Or now American Tension Organization, NATO, now American Tension Organization. So friends, this was a psychological analysis to understand a person. And when you see all these traits, what do you call such person? Mentally sick. And you all know better than me that where is the place for a mentally sick person? It's the mental asylum. Even if people do admit him over there. Jai Hind.